Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. For today's video, I want to do a little bit of a deep dive into the Lunar Halo Radiance event. There's a lot of things that we need to kind of slow people down on. So the event is here. People are excited, at least for the servers that started on the day one, I guess you could say. But if you're not sure when your event is starting, if you're on season 2 or whatever season you're on, you just click this little circle here and you can see when your stuff is happening. So this is kind of your calendar of events. Like, this is now unlocked. Champion Arena is unlocked in 27 days. Right after this event is over, my Otherworld exploration unlocked. So that's where you see that information here. So this is the same style event as the Utior one was. So just to be clear, it looks pretty identical so far, including the shop and the ways to get points. So what I want to kind of warn is for people not to summon day one. Unless you're just going to summon regardless because you're like me and you're just anxious, but and you know that you're willing to waste some unnecessary summons to do so, because it will be a waste if you're really picky about wanting to save for future things like a future Dungeons and Dragons collab. We don't know. We are waiting for those official notices, but we want to hope and assume there's gonna be another one this season because that was their intent. But we don't know for sure yet, but we're definitely holding on to that plan. And I'm going to try to just assume it's going to happen for now. But it's more than just the summons. It's also doing the challenges that we need to slow people down on. Because, all right, so Alton, Chief Challenge, cold damage taken increased by 100%. All of us with Ice Blast Vortex teams are going to destroy this boss. If you've got a really solid Vortex team right now, you're probably going to do 22 million with no trouble at all. And, well, just because you can do the 22 million doesn't mean you should on the first day. Because there are these leaderboards. So people are already doing stuff on the first day. Let that be there to their own demise. Because you know what? Like, it's about rankings, right? It's about being in the top. And there's going to be 4 weeks of rankings. So you see, like, this one ends, the first week ends in 6 days. This leaderboard, this reward settlement. So you're going to have 4 chances to rank. And there's more chances to get Halo shards. So we want to assume that most people that are very active, trying hard and watching content like this are also probably going to be what? Your top 250 in your server? I would say most people that are pushing pretty hard and trying to be active in the game. And that 3 times 4, let's just say you rank there, 3 times 4, let's say you get 12 points total extra. For 12 moons, shards, 12 shards for the event, right? That's logical. Let's say you're kind of slack and you don't do as good as you thought. You're at least going to get the top 450. I can't imagine people that are genuinely playing actively getting only the top 50%. 450 is actually not that many once you get looking at server rankings, and I'm sure you're doing... It'll be probably a good comparison to how you're doing with your overall season settlement rankings too. But even at the worst case, let's say you get 2 and you get 8 points, it's still 8 more shards toward the total. So this is where the calculation comes in. Let me pull in a little chart I'm working on. All right, so this is just a lazy little graph, right? Okay. So let's just say you can actually do all of the best rewards possible. 22 million damage 3 times. So the first week, week 1, is going to be 3 attacks. Week 2 is 4 attacks. Week 3 is 5 attacks. And week 4 is 6 attacks. This is assuming the best. Let's say you can You can make that many teams to get the top damage. All right. So that's what you would get, right? This is the points each week if you did the top damage. Then the dungeons. We want to assume everyone is always going to do the top dungeons because, well, let's just say I did it already the first day. And anyone that doesn't just means you're not playing the game. Farm, use that bread. This is where you should have saved your bread for because farming the Grave of Venom, as this challenge suggests, I guess I could probably get this out of the way. Actually, I'll just leave it for now. But we're here with the Grave of Venom, right? This is what you should be doing now that we finally have the increased legendary drop rates of the shards, aka which means more legendary actual pieces of gear as well. So you should be farming that, right? Easy. That's what you should be doing. Same thing with all the other future ones. Every week is going to be another one. So this 15, 15, 15 every week is going to be 15 times 4. You're going to get 90 pieces for sure, right? That's what this 90 is here for. Rankings, let's assume you do pretty good and you get at least 12, maybe you get more. And then maybe if you're not hitting quite as high and you're averaging... So the next one here, this is, let's say you average 11 million on every single one throughout this entire time. Boom, boom, boom. 3 boss hits, 4 shards each. 4 boss hits, 5 boss hits, 6 boss hits. All right. But let's say you can't quite do that and you only can do 7 million per. This is kind of the calculation for that and so on. So this is kind of how you figure out what amount of summons you're really going to need to do. So I'm going to assume that I'm going to be here or here, right? I really think so. I think I'm going to be okay. So when we're looking at this, like this, if I can do 22 million with multiple teams the first week, I know I'm probably going to be pretty set for the others, but maybe it's not perfect. But still, that's 192 shards out of 200 to buy the character, buy the hero with the shards, right? So you don't need to summon much at all. You only need to summon 5. 5 summons get you 10. Boom, that's it. Overcapped already. So let's say you weren't perfect, like this kind of suggests, which even still you'd probably be higher in rankings, more than 12. You probably 12 where you probably get 15. Let's say you're hitting that 11 million mark and you're averaging out this and we're guessing on the rankings. That's still less than 30. So okay, maybe you need to summon 20, which will get you 20 more. That's 194. Okay, so maybe that's not enough. Maybe you need to do 40. And I think this is going to be the reality because of the way it's spaced out. I think most people are going to have to do 40 summons, which will get you 40 total things. So that's already overcapped. See, we're at 214. And let's say we have to do 40 here. Boom, 192. So this is where you're going to have to keep an eye on how you're doing. If you can average out 11 million, maybe one thing you get 22 million, a couple you get 11, a couple you get 7. You should be pretty safe with summoning a total of 40 to get a total of 40, 10, 10, 20 shards. I think this is kind of the best bet that most active players will need to summon 40. I feel like that's more realistic than expecting people to be perfect, like this first case scenario here. If you are struggling a bit and nothing really is hitting over 7 million, this is going to be a struggle here. And this is where you might need to summon 60. So this is where the little bit more push comes in. Or maybe not. Maybe you're willing to do the 40 here. Look at 192, assuming, let's just say the ranking is 8. Let's say that's what it is. You get 8 points total for your rankings. Or maybe it's even less. Maybe that's where you take a look over here. Let me go into the event shop. So you can actually buy Lunar Halo. Oops, let me get rid of this too. You can actually buy Lunar Halo shards, 10 batches of 10 of them, for the Dragon Crystal, which is what you purchase from the shop. So this is something you could do as a low spend option to get the character without having to necessarily waste all your summons. If you just want to do some summons because you've been excited and you've been waiting, but you don't want to blast them all, or you don't have that many. Maybe you don't have 40 summons or 60 summons that you can save by the end of this event. This is a fairly cheap way to be able to ensure you at least can get the character without going too crazy. Because let's take a look. In order to buy, where is it? So 350 double up offer, that is 700 of these guys. So $5. So if you only end up being 10 shards short of the event here, you can just decide to spend $5 and get the hero, plus you did some summons and good grinding and got some good resources along the way on top of it. It's not like you're paying for the hero after doing work and getting nothing else. You actually get really good stuff along the way. It's more than just the hero, right? It's more than just the hero. It's more than just the shop, because when you do those continental bosses, you're getting rewards. When you get the settlement, like the leaderboard, it's more than just the shards. You're also getting Echoes of Clepsydra. This is where the big stuff starts. This is where the ranking for your server really ramps up. And you're getting a ton of solvent. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so nice. It'll help us fully max out our psychic core much faster. So keep in mind that the rewards here are really important. In trying to, even if you don't care about the character, let's say you're in season 1 and you don't like Utior, you still should push the Continental Boss Challenge as much as you possibly can because of these rewards. And worst case scenario, if you don't care about getting Utior or Ardreth at the end of the day, you can buy some dye. Or you can just buy some gold. And at the very least, you know that you worked on your overall season rankings. So when the rankings settle, you know you pushed hard, and it's going to help you with this Echoes of Clepsydra here as well. Like the season rewards, you know you want to get in the top 300 to get that mount. Oops. To get the mount. We all want that mount. Why not, right? Plus you want to get those the special premium tickets that will increase our chances to get the next season heroes. So as you can see, they have season 3 premium tickets here as well. And yeah, of course you can still get the blues and get 20 just by being in the top 20%, which is not as hard as you probably think it is. So that's just kind of what I wanted to advise today. I wanted to look at the numbers and make sure people realize that you don't necessarily need to insta summon. I would say it's pretty safe for most people to go ahead, do 10 or 20 summons, and then wait and see where you end up, because you might not need, or not 10, sorry, 5 summons will get you, so 20 total summons will get you 20 total shards. So it really does depend on your rankings. It depends on how hard you push with the continental bosses. You might not need to go as far as you think. The only people that are going to need to summon a lot are the people that can't get that many points against these chief challenges. So it's so account dependent. There's not one answer, as people keep asking, how many do we need to summon to get Ardreth? The answer is it depends on you. It depends on your account. It depends on these numbers up here for how well you can actually push the content. And remember, it's more than just about the hero Ardreth, which I will do some gameplay with. I have a test server now, so I will do some proper testing of her and try to put her in some scenarios, pair her in some vortex, pair her in whatever, and see how she performs. And it's also some great rewards along the way, so that doesn't hurt. The event itself, besides the hero, is going to give important season resources, so just being active and trying to play and perform your best is going to help. And don't stress too much about the summons until you really can tell how you're going to do with the bosses. And like we said, hold up. Don't go doing all these. But you know what you can do? You can try them. And so here I am at the Alton boss, right? Let me get off this again. So I'm at the Alton boss. I can go do it, but I don't necessarily need to accept it. Luckily, you can try it multiple times. So let's see. Do they have the info? They don't have the... All right. Players can challenge the boss. Each challenge will be deployed. Each boss can only be challenged once per round. But it is like, I guess you could say like Vortex, where you can choose whether or not to accept your damage. So like, it's not just, yeah, it's not just you're stuck with it kind of thing. So that really helps. So you can try it, see how you're doing. If you're doing well, like, okay, here's odd ones. He could choose to save or not, or you go back. So don't save it the first day. Wait until you improve your psychic core. You're going to get more damage. Yeah. And you're probably going to get better gear because we should be farming gear right now. All right, guys, but I hope this conversation was helpful to help people understand what they really need to get Ardreth. And it's so account dependent. Just, I mean, to be fair, we're all going to put out videos on this stuff. Don't worry. But you just kind of got to look at it just like you did for Season 1. If you're on to Season 2, same thing. If you're watching this video, this is the same idea for Utior. If you're on Season 1, it's the same setup. So this advice applies for both characters. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video or live on Twitch.